Hello, beautiful friends. Welcome back to Let's Play a Game, where cosmic playdates become portals of joy, truth, and excitement in the infinite now moment. Thank you for coming to explore love, laughter, and multidimensional magic with us. If you're new here, hi, you found your people. This channel is where high vibe magic meets real world joy, and we are so excited to play with you. Today we are joined by our good friend Maneka Helleberg. Maneka is a very well-rounded spiritual enthusiast and wellness advocate. She's the creator of the Sovereign Free Life podcast, chair of the World Freedom Alliance, leader of the GAIA Council, fellow creator, spiritual liberator, and amazing channeler, among many other talents. Hi, Maneka. It is so great to have you here. And I just wanted to start by saying that I really love what you said in your recent Facebook Live video about not fitting ourselves into boxes, living our full truth, and following our passions with deep inner trust and alignment as we stand anchored within our wholeness. That messaging is so resonant here. And I think we're all really grateful that you are so willing to speak your truth to the collective. So I'd love to
Oh,
have you introduce yourself and all the fun projects that you're currently working on. And then tell us more about your water business because I'm really excited to hear about that.
thank you. Thank you for having me here. And yeah, just like you said, I am at the core of my being, I believe that we get to be the full expression of ourselves and that we actually give back to the world when we stand in our truth fully. And when I mean fully, it's that we are, physical beings, emotional, mental, we're spiritual beings, we're creative souls, and we have so many layers of our being, and we're here to use our full spectrum of that, right? And not hold that back. And like you said, to be at play and to play with all the frequencies, all the layers of our reality. Otherwise, they wouldn't be there. So, yeah, love that introduction. And just to give a little background of me, I'm from Sweden. I started out really early actually to explore the spiritual dimensions. I had a very spontaneous awakening when I was around 14, where I left my body and I got to meet my soul family, and they told me why I was here on Earth and my mission on Earth, which was to help and support in the transition from the old world to the new world. And they showed me so many visions, like of how this would happen, things that would play out, and it made a really deep imprint in me. And since then, I've both engaged in many different areas, like educated myself, engaged in democracy questions, in protecting our freedoms and rights, in understanding ecosystems, understanding civilizations, really a deep care about the children, the plants, the animals, and like diving into different kind of voluntary work in India and around the world. And this, yeah, there's so much to say. Like there's so many things I've been engaged in over the years, but really just want to make sure I kind of leave this world a little bit better than when I came here. And and one of those things is to actually be an advocate for clean and healthy water, which is what I work with, because water is over 70% of who we are, and it's over 70% of our health. And so many people, they take water for granted. They don't understand the different aspects of water and also how it affects our being, our whole being, like our physical being, emotional, like all these different levels, how water is a frequency, how water can be dead or alive. Water can have a structure or be clumped up, or water can, have a charge or not have a charge. Like there's so many aspects of water that are important for us. And it's a big part of who I am. I'm a complete water nerd. You can You can have me talk about water for hours if you let me. But and I'm so proud to actually work with that and work with a company that is over 50 years old and Japanese that is super stable, super like based on true values, and also do a business where when you own one of this technology, you can also spread the word to others and actually make a really good living. So that we have the abundance that we should have. Like there's so many like negative thoughts and stuff about money and mindset about money. And that's also one thing that I coach others in. And I've had a 11-day mentorship just now for around it's around 330 people like active in my team. I think like 50 people like super engaged in this, and probably 80% of becoming a successful business owner also in like a holistic empathic value-based kind of business is mindset. It's to really get rid of all the self-sabotage we have, how we stand in our way, how we don't step into full power. And power is can be used for so much good when we stand in clarity, when we know our values, when we know why we're here, and we're giving ourselves what we need to do that. It's yeah, I can just talk about this forever, but I think there's so many people out there that know that they're meant for bigger things, they're meant to do more, and they don't trust themselves, or they listen to their negative spouse or family member or this and that. Like, no, this is, and also about spiritual things that we don't get to be full spiritual beings. Like, oh, that's scary, or that's this and that. Like you said, we put each other in boxes. Like, why do we do that? Why are we so scared of letting ourselves be free? Honestly, like, what is really freedom if we can't really be ourselves, follow our truths, and really claim our lives, so that it's not egoistic to claim your life. It's actually the opposite to egoistic. That's when you can start to contribute to the world fully. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's a little bit what I'm doing. And then, like you said, during the COVID times, I'd been engaged in international organizations since I think 2005, something like that, a part of building up the New Earth Project, and also a lot of other organizations working with actually bringing forward, positive solutions to the world, because there's many people that have incredible solutions. Like we're working with scientists, innovators, economists, like so many different kind of people, and they all experience the same thing: a lot of resistance, a lot of being pushed out of universities, not being listened to, their publications not being published in the right papers. And we saw this happening, and including actually my father, who was a medical doctor that was working to actually really heal people, and that taught me very, very much. And he got huge resistance in Sweden, like newspapers lying about him, and everyone trying to like bringing bring him down when he was curing like cancer, schizophrenia, backaches, this and that. Like, so there's definitely like an agenda that does not want us to thrive in this world. And I I've seen too much. It's not a theory, it's not a conspiracy. It's like it's very, very real when you see it over and over. And the way that what I've supported in this is for people to come together. Both in the New Earth Project, there is a whole university there. There are eco villages building all over the world. We're a part of that in here in Sweden. And we also, in the COVID times, we built the World Freedom Alliance around protecting our fundamental freedoms and rights, which were under attack. So when we come together, that's when we're strong. Like that's when we can collaborate into creating, bigger patterns and bigger collaborations that can start movements that move in the right direction. So that's basically what I've been doing there also, and chair over World Freedom Lines that I think we reached, our documentaries reached millions of people, and we are in over around 40, 50 countries, an amazing network that is also, in the end, we put a lot of work into creating the World Freedom Lines action plan, which is actually like a blueprint for how can we move together in the right direction. And one of the big pillars there is to to take care of yourself and to be in connection with yourself. And the second one is sovereignty, to know your rights, to know your truth, to be also withdrawing from a system that does not serve people any longer. And the third one is to build the new, to build what is positive, to really bring forward everything that we want to see in the world. And for me, that's where I have my main focus right now. But all these three are very much present in how I want to be an example to actually live all of those three things. And which is, of course, I'm not perfect in any way, but I'm trying to step by step, build an eco village here in Sweden. We're like in a yeah, we've done a lot of work behind it, and it's going to be released probably this year. And then also doing a lot of spiritual work with the Gaia Council that I've been a part of for 15 years, doing astral traveling and energy work around the world, and also we're writing a book about those journeys that we've done, which is coming out anytime soon. And then the sovereignty part, which is, encouraging people and inspiring people to just withdraw from the things that are corrupt that you don't want to see in the world, and find ways to also live a life and have an income and work in the world without interacting with corrupt systems. Because if we withdraw our energy from that, then they won't in the end have any energy. So, yeah. It's a
Um,
lot, I do a lot, but honestly, I just follow my light. I follow my truth in every footstep, and I don't know how I ended up here. Honestly, like, how did all this happen? It's
well, it
just
sounds
some.
like you're following your purpose, and I think that that's really amazing. And so, thank you for setting such a wonderful example. And I love this Freedom Alliance. And I think if that resonates with people, is there any way for us to reach out or get involved or participate in some way?
Yes, you can go to worldfreedomalliance.org, and then you can see, you can make contact with us, you can become a member, you can look at what we've done, our documentaries, the action plan, etc. So there's not that much activity as under the COVID times, but we have a beautiful network of people all over the world that connect and work in different areas. We wanted to like bring people together from broad areas like medical doctors, journalists, activists, psychologists, people in education, like many different areas to collaborate around common values of protecting, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of like bodily integrity, also financial freedom from financial corruption, which is a huge part of this world. Um, yeah, not looking good, if you can say it like that. Like, a lot of corruption is found in the financial system, and that's why I'm happy to kind of go into that area as well, like broaden our view, like we can become sovereign also financially. Mm.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk in the spiritual community about, I've heard it called the Matrix. I've heard it called many different things. Where you're using the terminology corrupt systems. I think they're all fairly similar in terms of their
Mm.
energy signature. And so, can you talk a little bit about what you've seen work and not work in terms of um, standing in that sovereignty and recalibrating yourself and your life and the way that you operate in the world outside of that? Like, we talk about withdrawing ourselves from those systems, and I think to a certain degree people get that, but like logistically, um, how is that possible?
So, one man that I've learned so much from is called Mark Patalik. He has a platform called Solutions Empowerment. He's worked with this for over, I think, 20, 30 years, something like that. And we've had a lot of conversations as well. I have him on my podcast, etc. You can watch the interview with him there. And also in the New Earth University, there is a lot about sovereignty, and it's a deep like rabbit hole if you want to dig into it, like what it really means. And there are different people that say different things, but the core of it, the when I really got that, it kind of shifted so much for me that I am a man, you're a man or a woman that is born into this world as a free man and woman, right? We don't have any titles. We don't have any like this nationality or this name, this identity, this, all of those things. And in a way, we are, when you understand that I answer to the Creator, I answer to God. I'm God's creation. You are God's creation. I'm not that fiction that we're brought into. That is a huge kind of thing to realize that this fiction that is brought onto us, our personal identity, our name, the way it's constructed in the society is almost like a slavery system, to be honest. It's something that we did not agree to. So this comes into something called natural law. Natural law is the law that you know in your heart what is right and wrong. It's nothing that you have to be told. A child can see what is right and wrong. It's wrong to hurt someone. It's wrong to lie. It's wrong to steal something. It's wrong to not be honorable in your relationships. It's these very, very simple truths, right? That somehow I think from the start, we had those in these ancient laws that we made, that was the truth. We were in alignment with the frequency of Gaia, of the natural law that says we have to respect the free will, and we have to respect to not, impose on anyone else's free will. It's a very simple thing, actually. But when you look out into the world today, like, is that the truth? Not really, not always, right? So it's in a way to stand in your sovereignty from me, that's a big part to say that I act according to my light, according to what's right. No matter if someone else tries to force me or tell me to do something that is not right, that is not in alignment with truth, with heart. And the more of us that stand in that sovereignty without fear, the less we can be controlled by the matrix. And another side of sovereignty is that how do we then stand in our truth? How can we bring about such power in ourselves that we don't go into fear, that we dare to, stand in our sovereignty? Because that is hard, like you said, in everyday life. You have to survive. And I think so many people did go against their values. during those times because they had to, they were forced to, right? But
Yeah, and we're really coming into a time where for so long we have been in this survival mode. And I think it's becoming more and more prevalent that we are shifting into more of a thriving nature, the more that we embody that and stand in our sovereignty in that frequency. And so I'd love to circle back to the water conversation here because to me, everything is frequency. And I'm also a water nerd, so I love that we share that in common. I'm very particular about the water that I drink, where it comes from, and the frequency that I share with it. Because to me, it's a co-creation with Gaia and Mother Earth. And I hear a lot of scientific research going on right now about the frequency of water and how it crystallizes in different ways depending on the energy that is shared with it. And it stores memory, and all of these things are being researched and studied and coming about. And so I think that that's really fascinating and amazing. And I'd love to hear your take on how that's providing abundance for people. You talk about having a business around providing clean water. What does that actually mean? Like, are you programming it with frequency? Are you sourcing the water from somewhere? Like, tell us a little bit more about that.
and it actually comes back to what I was going to say next, that in a way, I mean, sovereignty means creating a balanced life on all the levels levels of consciousness. And that's why I'm so passionate about water, because both, like you say, water works on many different frequencies. It's not just a physical thing. It is has a very hold like high frequency. And actually the water that I work with, it resembles the most pristine, the most powerful healing springs in the world. So there are only about 4 or 5 like really powerful healing springs in the world. One of them is in Okinawa. There's one in Lourdes in France. It's very famous. It's people like come from all over the world to those springs. The one in Lourdes is even what do you say? It's sacred in like it's holy according to the church. So because so many people have experienced healings there. So in Japan, they have one of those springs in Okinawa, and that's actually where this company that I work with, that's where it started. And they started to analyze, like, why is this water so powerful? Why are people experiencing these tremendous healings from this water? And they found that there are many different aspects of water. And what I see out there right now is that people, they're becoming aware of water. Like you say, that water has frequency, that clean water is important, like the source water is important. But many people, they get stuck in one of the areas that needs to be there. And what they found in these like super springs was that it both has the right structure, which is like a frequency. It has a certain, like you can see it, like you say, when if you know, what's his name now? I can't remember. The Japanese guy that has done research on this, he freezes water and he can see that it makes certain patterns, like, and it really matters if how you thought about the water, like where, like you said, what kind of structure it has. It does have an effect. And so that is the structure, like frequency structure. Then the second thing is, of course, is it clean or not? Like so much of our water is contaminated with like chemicals, heavy metals, PFAS, which is like cancerogenic, fluoride, chloride, you name it. Like there's thousands of chemicals. And for me, when I realized the problem with these chemicals was actually when I was studying to be a science teacher. That's my like profession before this, that I'm a teacher. And I had an assignment in university to look at a water treatment plant. So I would go there and we were supposed to like every little chemical reaction we were going to describe in this assignment. And that's where I saw, okay, but the medical residues and the heavy metals, like all of these things. Like, what do you do with them? I even asked them directly at the treatment plant, and they said, no, we can't take it out. It's not possible. It would be too expensive. So, and then of course we started to, me and my husband, we started to distill our water, like clean our water, have a filter, and that's kind of the first stage, right? But what you don't understand is that if you clean the water too much, the minerals go out. You need these healthy minerals in the water. So before we got this technology, this Japanese technology, we were like cleaning the water. We had like a whirler to get the structure right, or and then we put minerals in, and then we did this and that. Like it was a whole kind of science lab in our kitchen. And then when we saw this one, this technology, because the Japanese, they did a water technology, like a machine that does all of these things with the water. It cleans the water, it structures the water into to the right like frequency. It ionizes the water, which brings negative charge into the water. And that's where it becomes alive. Because if the water is standing in a bottle, if it's like going through pipes, it's not alive any longer. The negative charge is not there. And the negative charge is just the same as, when you ground yourself, when you walk on the ground, or you sit in the sunlight, or you all eat raw food. Like it also has this negative charge, which is so important. That charges our mitochondria, our cells, our whole nervous system needs that negative charge, our hearts. So that is also a huge part of it. And another part is the molecular hydrogen. And hydrogen, it's what the sun is made of, right? It's like, for me, it's like pure life force. That is like where when you drink this kind of water, yeah, here, it's it's kind of like you charge a battery when you drink it. It's like like you come back online. It kind of just, charges you up. And at times where I didn't have the water, I was traveling and I didn't find anywhere to fill up my water. And I really feel like the batteries are like going down again, like the life force kind of diminishes. So yeah, those are the aspects that need to be there. And I'm very happy that the awareness about water is spreading and people might get one or the other of these aspects. But then, like you said, of course, then you can also add to it, like your frequency and your prayer to it. And there's so many more dimensions. But for me, to first start out with like the science base, because this is very science based, like thousands of studies and so many, like it's medical grade technology. And then you can, of course, add to it also, the more spiritual aspects. But for me, when as an intuitive, the first time I got in contact with this water, it was actually my friend Chanel. She's a detox coach. She's actually living in Austin right now, doing lots of yeah, lots of work there around health. But I trusted her like with all my heart. Like if she has the a heart of gold. So when she wrote about this on her Facebook that, I found this way to get out of the 9 to 5 and travel the world, not have to, be depending on someone else's giving me money. And then also when she talked about water, like this is about giving people the best water there is in the world. I was like, this light just, lit up in me. Like, okay, this is it. This is where I want to go. This is the right thing for us. Because we were at the time, I was working as a teacher. My husband had a transport company. We had 3 kids at home. And I mean, you can just hear it, like the stress in that life. It was no life. Like we had the villa, we had the cars, we had the money, we had the stuff. Like, oh wow, we're living the life. But we just looked at each other. I think it was like 3 weeks before this happened. We looked at each other and just like, you know what? We can't do this anymore. Like this is not a life. This is surviving in the middle of this like golden bubble where everything is just supposed to seem good and you can't complain because like, oh my God, we have everything that you're supposed to. But I felt so drained. I felt so like I just saw the life with my kids like disappear. Someone else saw them more than I did, you know, and just broke my heart completely. So when I saw this, and I also saw the business model, because we were business people. I'd been working as a coach for many years. We had this transport company. So when we saw the actual financial engine in this company as well, that okay, we don't have to, take care of products or like produce anything or mark like there's so many things that we didn't have to do. We just own this technology and we recommend it to others and we make huge amounts of money. It's like, is this like real? At first we were like pinching ourselves, like, is this too good to be true? And then we're like, no, it's not too good to be true. It's like real. And we just started out and it completely just exploded because people got it. Like people really, yeah, they understood it. And it wasn't that common in Sweden and Scandinavia and Europe at that time. Like now everyone is just, yeah, it's exploding here much more than then even. But yeah, so that actually helped me. If you like talk about real things that can help you to exit the matrix, that is one of those real things where I could quit my job after 1 year. My husband could quit his job after 2 years, and we could be together as a family. I could get engaged in my these international projects. We could move to the countryside. We could, buy my dream car that is a Tesla. We talked about that. Like people are like, oh, how can you drive an electric car and this and that? Like, I love my Tesla. I actually saw it in a vision when I was 14. Before Tesla even existed, I'm like, oh, what's that car I'm gonna have? And then
Oh, I
when I
love
saw
that.
the Tesla, it's like, wow, there it is. That's the car I saw in my visions.
That's amazing. I love that. So, okay, so I think a lot of people are very passionate about water to varying degrees. And so let's play a game here. Let's pause here and play a game. Let's say I'm a listener and I'm really passionate about water and I love what you're saying and I really want to get on the bandwagon of spreading this message about water and creating that abundant life for myself outside of the control structures that are putting us in survival instead of thrive mode. So, what would that path look like for me as a listener?
So the beautiful thing is that we work a lot online. We work a lot with automation and technology to really spare our time. Like we really value our time in this. Like we're an international community of thousands of people doing this and doing it successfully. So the first step would go to monicajchelleberg.com and just follow the process there. So basically, just register, watch around 1 hour's presentation, and then you'll know, like, is this for me or not? And then book a call. So it's simple as that. And then we'll see if it's a fit or not. Like, you get answered your questions. I get to, because the thing is, I'm also kind of assessing people because it's people that I build something with, something that is going to be very long term, you know. I'm kind of in this for life, I feel. And I just have to see that it's like you have the dedication, you have the willingness, and you have the curiosity and the right kind of mindset to do it. Because like one of the main ways that people stay broke is because of mindset. Is because you stand in your own way, honestly. Like anyone can actually do this, really anyone, but anyone can't do it, if they don't believe they can. So it's actually that simple, and then like very, very concrete. It's basically if you own one of this water technology, that's it. There's no hidden, backdoors, this and that, and you have to blah blah blah. Nothing like that. It's not an MLM structure like that. It's not a pyramid. It's not like anything you've seen. It's just simple. It's affiliate marketing. You have a product, you can recommend it. And then we have systems, automations, educations, trainings, like launches, so many things that we support people with to succeed because it is like a win-win system where you collaborate with other people. And if, like, let's say you would join, if you win, then I win. Like the company that we work with, they hugely reward people for supporting them and for supporting others. So they they actually chose, I mean, they could have chosen to do commercials and do like marketing and middle hands and all of that, but instead they wanted to give back to the users of the technology because they wanted people to actually, drink this water, to experience it, and then just share their stories with others and like let it spread organically and not the usual like you see on a TV commercial or something like that. So, yeah, I mean, that's the next steps and that's how we work and how we live and also how you can, where actually I'm very close to that, where this company pays out a pension for life once you've reached a certain like amount of people that you have helped to also succeed, then you can just quit if you want, like never work again. Like you have a steady pension. I think it's like $5,000 per month for the rest of your life, whatever happens, willable to your kids. So
That's really
for me,
amazing. What a
then
what
you
a
can really play.
Absolutely. What an amazing opportunity. I'm sure we all appreciate you sharing it with us and
Mm,
I would love to see I would love to see that grow and flourish for all of our listeners because it sounds like a really incredible way to spend our time and energy supporting each
definitely.
other and
And I
supporting the
think,
world.
yeah, because I mean, before this, I was involved in so many like international organizations and projects and this and that, and everyone was broke. Like everyone was waiting for money to just jump on you from the sky or like to kind of manifest, in a magical way. And it didn't happen. Like for some maybe, but it was just like in the end, I was like, no, I'm so fed up just waiting around. Like, why don't I just do it myself? When I saw this, it's like, okay, you work less, you get more, you like value your time, you do something good, you help other people. It's like, there's not much bad about that. Like it's honestly just good, all the way through. And I think we're so like not used to something actually being good all the way through. Like there's so many kind of half shady stuff out there and people have been, have a lot of financial emotional trauma around finances and thriving and but just to kind of relax into that, money can be good, finances can be good, and there's no cap to it. Like you can make as much as you want. Like no one's going to tell you to, oh no, stop, you can't make that much. It's really up to you, what you do with it. But I mean, there are people making millions already. And they're like Balazs Cardos, he's from Canada. He's one of the big leaders in our community, and he usually says like the amount on his bank account is just a reflection of how many people he has helped. So that's how it should be. You should be rewarded for, mentoring, supporting people to go, advance in their mindset, in their spirituality, in their physical and like, yeah, passions, what they love to do. If you want to travel or be with your kids or build an eco village or have a dog rescue or whatever, of course you should do that.
I love that. Well, and absolutely, and especially if, we are consuming these high frequency, better structure, better aligned to what really is better for everyone, then not only does it help us support one another, but that also filters into our other energetic aspects, right? So it's helping to
Mm,
heal us from the inside out, not only on a physical level, but that's also amplifying our power as a sovereign being, as a spiritual creator, as um a being of light and love in this world. And um I I love thinking about that amplification of the light, and I can see it energetically within you, and I think it's really amazing that you embody this. And I've
mm.
seen you on the astral planes, and I've seen you do really great work with leading groups and having fun with all of this that you're doing. And so you mentioned earlier about the Gaia Council, and so I wanted to touch on that a little bit as well because I think it's relevant here. Like the
Mm.
more purified that we become in our body, mind, spirit, soul, the more we're able to amplify that light and share it with others and do good things with it. And I know that y'all have been doing some really amazing things. And so let's start this segment actually by talking about what even is astral travel, how were you guided to it, and then what sparked you to create the Gaia Council.
Yes. Oh my God, this is also like a huge area. This I'm so passionate about. But I guess, it started out, like I said, when I was a teenager, and I just felt I was actually growing up in this kind of hippie family with meditations and therapy and spirituality. It was not like alien to me at all. But it started by me asking, like, okay, if there's anything out there, I think I saw someone channel for the first time. And this woman, she just knew so much about these people she'd never met. And I was like, this, she couldn't have researched this. Like, there must be something else out there. And I actually asked that, okay, if there is anything out there, I want to know. Like, I would like to be in contact. And it started with me just hearing this name ringing in my head, Athena, Athena, Athena. And I was a teenager. I didn't even know that Athena was a goddess at all. Like, I had no idea. And I asked my father, like, what is this? What is Athena? What does it mean? And he told me it was this goddess of wisdom and war and like strategy and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, that's strange. Why am I hearing this in my head? And one night I was just, I think it was a thunderstorm and I couldn't sleep and I was going out like on the veranda of the house where I was living and there was this bird like singing in the middle of the storm in a tree, like a blackbird. It was singing there. It was this kind of magical moment. And that's when I got in contact with Athena for the first time. And she started to teach me. And that's why when I started to understand, okay, there are other dimensions here, beyond our individual, like the physical body, emotional, mental. That's like, okay, here's the individual. There is another reality that we all know when we dream, for instance. We can all, I think most people have dreamt about like meeting maybe dead relatives or being in a place and letting it so vivid that you can see that it's real, like it's a real world. And this is what I stepped into. This is what I opened up to first in those conversations I started to have. I started to like with automatic writing. I was writing down what she was telling me, and she started to teach me about these dimensions, about these other realities. And at first, it kind of scared me. I was like, am I going crazy? What is this? Like, oh my God. I started to see in the end, like frequencies and people's like chakras and our auras. And I was going like on the subway in Stockholm and I was like, oh my God, I can see what they're thinking. I can, feel what they're feeling. Like, this is crazy. I had to like get off the subway. I hadn't learned to like shut it off and on at that time. But over the years, I learned to handle it, and I learned to, like, directly from source to actually handle this. And I also got to meet through my parents, actually. We went to India to a guru there called Papaji or Sri Punjaji, who's in like the Advaita Vedanta lineage, you could call it, from Sri Ramana Maharshi. And I met Papaji, and I was a teenager. I didn't understand what he was saying really. It was like, oh, it's nice to be there. But he looked me in the eye at one point, and in that moment, I realized who I truly was. And it had nothing to do with him really, but he was like a mirror mirroring back to me who I am. That who I am is the fullness of bliss, of joy, of light, of I am everything. And that this little personality is just like, it's like, felt like my little toe. Like it's so little. And when I stepped into that, it kind of escalated as well. Because when you step into the present moment fully, that's actually something that he would say. If you just stay present in this moment for a millisecond, you're going to fall in love with it so much that you're never going to want to leave. And you can't leave when you see who you are. Of course, who you are can't leave. How can you? It's not an experience, it's not a state. It's not a, oh, I need to become something. You drop all of that. You can't leave you. Like, are you crazy? It's not possible. But anyway, uh, when I stepped into that presence, like very, very deep, then these dimensions started to open up even more because it was like the mind let go. When the mind lets go of trying to understand everything, and you just start to experience life as it is, and you stay true to that, then everything is there. All that wisdom, everything that is written in the sacred books, all of it, it's there. And that's actually something that they say in the Vedas, or that I've then found in ancient religions, ancient traditions, that we all know this. We know the truth. We know the spiritual dimensions if we just stay present in the now and we let go, we surrender to that. So, yeah, then this beautiful process started of like really getting to know like so many different techniques and ceremonies and handling different dimensions. And like I said, I was taught by source. I mean, not just Athena, it was Shiva, it was Krishna, it was Christ, it was like then creator itself, because you learn to travel, in the higher in the dimensions. I remember the first time I went, I was instructed exactly like how there are levels of consciousness and different, like almost veils between these levels, and you can learn to like what do you say? Like draw your energy in and then push through these different dimensions. And the first time I went to the creator plane, my body couldn't follow. So I was like, my body fell down, and people were worried, like, oh, what's happening? Why is she not moving? I was in complete bliss. Like I was in in like this complete bliss state. But I hadn't, learned how to handle being, still present in my body. And when you have these experiences over and over and over about like leaving the body, meeting different dimensions, different beings, you start to explore. It's like this whole world opens up to you. And when you see over and over, you get the proof in different ways, in different um, settings, that this is not just imaginations. This is really true. Like I remember that point where I was like, I think it was around like 18, 19, and I had doubted myself so much and not told people what I was going through. But this day I was like playing around in the forest with the devas, like the little nature spirits, because yeah, they were my friends. And we would run around in the forest, and they would show me. They were so proud because they're the ones that decide, oh, this branch is going to grow like that, and this, like they take the life force into the plants. And they were like, come here, we're going to show you something. and they showed me this like tree that had really like bended stem like this, and it was like growing in a very spectacular way. And I was like, how could I run all the way through this forest and like found this? Because it's just like no, I have to just give it up. And also, like some people were telling me, like, what if you're escaping reality or you're not actually feeling well and you're a bit crazy? And I was sitting there like, I'm so happy. I'm so content. Like, I'm in such a good place. Like, you know what? This is just my reality, and people will just have to take it. You know,
I
I'm
love that.
definitely not crazy
Yeah.
because it's such a brainwash, which is so terrible that people, when they open up to spiritual dimensions, they get a lot of fear and like, oh no, you're crazy, you're schizophrenic, you need to take medication. Of course, there are people for real that are mentally ill. It's not like that, but it's very, very different from actually just having a natural like progression of your chakras opening up and you're opening up to the spiritual realities. I mean, in a way, like all the masters in our sacred books would be crazy if we would think like that, right?
Well,
Speaking to God and the angels and everything. Like, yeah, it's like, come on. Of course, we all know there is a spiritual dimension, and we know it in our hearts and souls. So let's just like be real about it and just be ourselves. Like, that's what it
yeah, and
came
I
to.
I think that the fear arises through the layers of collective programming that have been so deeply ingrained. And so
Mm,
that's where the individual journey comes in from my interpretation of it, because I mean, what a beautiful adventure that you're sharing. So thank you so much for being so open and vulnerable to bring that to the table. But I know for myself, the biggest catalyst for my transformation and growth process has been the realization of falling in love with yourself is the most valuable journey and adventure that you could ever experience. And everything just follows and flows from that. And so just trusting it, trusting where the path takes you, and being open to those levels of doubt, fear, concern as they arise, because you have to feel it to heal it. And it really is an amazing progression if you stick with it and just continue to lean into the love, lean into the belief that you are the powerful creator that you are. And you create your own reality with your thoughts and with your words. And just to begin to witness and observe that and to play with what follows when you create out of love instead of out of fear, or instead of out of doubt, or instead of out of the little voices that say, well, that can't be real, or you must be crazy, because it's just a big spectrum and we all experience all of that on different levels. And so really just leaning into what is it that you want to be and to create and to do, I think is a really
mm,
important reminder for all of us.
definitely, definitely. And also that you know, the spiritual dimensions, when I've explored them and under, you know, so many years now, it's not like, oh, it's spiritual, I need to just listen to whatever is there. It's like, oh, yeah, there is so many different beings, so many, it's just another reality. Actually, at one point, there were, I did some research together with brain researchers and a psychologist and lots of different people when I was working as a spiritual coach for many years. And they wanted to actually look at my brain when I went into the astral dimensions, which was really, really interesting because what they saw is that when I was walking around in the astral worlds, the brain pattern was just the same as me walking around in the physical reality. And the thing is, when you close your eyes in the brain scans, you see it directly in the brain pattern. You can see when someone closes their eyes or opens their eyes. There is a clear pattern that shows up. But when I opened my eyes in the astral world, it was exactly the same pattern as me walking in the physical world. For me, that is the truth is very clear that it's just another world, it's another dimension, it's a different reality where um, I I believe that it's something that we know in our nature, that our human nature and the ancient tribes and people of Earth, and they all know this, and they've all known this, and but it's been like so much fighting about controlling those views of the spiritual dimensions because it's such a power when you are aligned with them, when you know who you are, when you know that, your loyalty, like you said, is to your greater self. It's to the creator. It's not to an outside, authority. Like, whoa, that's scary for some people that want you to follow an outside authority, right? Or that doesn't want you to see the corruption that's also going on there in the spiritual dimensions, because when you open up to it you also see a lot of bad magic, a lot of control of people's minds, of people's hearts in those dimensions. And that's actually where the Gaia Council came from, where it was actually working also with the New Earth Project and a lot of clairvoyance, a lot of spiritual people coming together and saying that, wow, we should collaborate around this because we understood that we can't really bring about, a golden age or a good way of living if the consciousness level, if that doesn't rise, if the frequency of the earth doesn't rise. So it started out by understanding that there had been corruptions in the ley lines and in the ley lines is the kind of the energetic frequency framework of the earth. It had been consciously corrupted for ages. And when we saw that and understood that, and also how it was reflected in ancient scriptures from all around the world, and how it had to do with the fall of Atlantis and things that happened in ancient Egypt, and lots of different controlling of our history, even to change history so that we wouldn't know our true origin and our true history, then we understood that the way to counteract that, to bring Gaia into her natural development of her frequency, included opening up certain very important energy points around the world. So it actually started out with us physically traveling to many of these different places, and also um, kind of gathering and collecting ancient frequencies from all over the world into what we call the QFG technology, which is still working, which is still there, which we thought from the start would also bring about free energy. But in the end, we saw that, okay, this technology was there to support this frequency, the heightening of Earth's frequency, and opening up basically the chakras of the earth, where we have physically placed these very special crystals coated with ancient frequencies all over the world. They're actually physically there now, all of them that needs to be there. And with that happening, the kundalini of the earth, the full like awakening of the earth's energy field started to flow again. And it was really funny. It was actually in 2012 where people were like, oh, something's going to happen, this big 2 months before that date, like I think it was, yeah, October 2012. That's when that first work was done. And after that, it's been, we've been meeting, I think, every week for around, yeah, 15 years or so more now, where we yeah, there's so many stories to tell. I mean, that's a part, like a small fraction of those stories are in the book that we're releasing. We have an amazing guy, Alexander, that in our council that has been, documenting our work, which I'm so thankful for. And it's just like raw notes. Like some of it is you might not understand with your mind, but you might like understand it frequency wise, what we've been doing. And everything just happened from there. And people came and went, and people would contact us from all over the world and like say, oh, I have a gift for you. I have, you need to know this if you're going on that mission. Like there's so many stories where it's all about just alignment and frequency, and like I said before, just following one step at a time, not really seeing the full picture, but just meeting up and like, okay, what's going to happen today? What does your intuition tell you? What we need to work with? And that's basically what we do each time. I mean, you've been there many times as well, and we just, support Gaia in her heightening of her frequencies, and honestly also like a lot of battling lots of bad energies, and a lot of collaboration with a lot of different beings and frequencies, and development of frequencies, and universal codes, and just really working for the whole development of our universe in the end, and even the universes of universes, like to a very big creation level, and understanding also the very important role that we have as human beings, and that this development, even though we've gone through a lot of pain as Gaia, I mean, we're a part of Gaia, meaning our frequency, like our home, that pain is transforming into wisdom, into a deeper understanding of really letting the highest vibration of light really come into physical reality. And I really truly believe that we are moving towards a golden age. We're moving towards a way of living here in our world where we can be in balance, where we can live in peace, where we can, use all the wisdom and the knowledge that we have to do good, and to erase the corruption, and erase um, the parasitical energies that have been allowed here that are no longer allowed. But as it seems now, I believe there it will take maybe 20, 30 years to like do the cleanup job, like make it right again. But I really believe that we are going to see a beautiful and peaceful place here on earth. That's really what I've also was shown since I was really young, exactly how that can work, how it can happen. And that's where what I call the sovereign free life plan, the sovereign free life model, that I've like taught it like in different smaller settings, but I hope to do it in a bigger setting soon as I'm trying it out. So I hope to really deepen into the sovereign free life plan, because that's what I feel if we nail that. And actually, it's the simplest thing. It's about just us being us. But since we have so much trauma, we have so much brainwash, we have so many blockages to ourselves, then this is like a framework and a mapping out of going through your frequencies, the physical reality, the emotional, mental, the heart, the creative, your vision, your intuition, your creator fields, and really clearing them out step by step. So for me, we need to kind of, I mean, there's so many courses where, oh, just let the light in, just let it flow. Like sometimes we need to go into the nitty-gritty. Like we need to, okay, how can we actually heal your physical body? Like you said, because if we don't have a functioning, whole, detoxed, strong physical body, it's not that easy to move to the next level. Probably are not very happy if your body is sick, right? So it's really working from the ground up And like then you can move to the next level, the next level, and also looking at the individual, but also in your surroundings and what is your purpose for you, and then also for your relationship to the world and to the universe. So for me, that's what I started to see when I was 14. It was all these frequencies. It was all, everything is made of frequency. Everything is made of pure light in a way, but the pure light can become the rainbow, right? It can become so many different frequencies. And we're here to kind of figure out how can we actually, you know, bring balance to that? How can we live in that full frequency? How can we, like you said, if we step back into our full creator mode, wow, like we're such powerful beings. And, my big passion is to support people to bring balance to all those frequencies and not, you know, buy into any of the old kind of traumas and negative mindset that hold us back there. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's a great pointer to the remembrance that our body heals itself through balance and coherence and will and intention. And so I think that's a great point to remember as well, that as we come into balance, those around us come into balance. And as we amplify that frequency, I firmly believe that we are co-creating this experience with each other as well as with Gaia, right? Because she is also a very powerful sovereign being. And so I think it's really fun to play in that realm. And I think it's really interesting when I hear conversations about, we've destroyed the planet, we need to save the world and this and that. And it's like that's an interesting take on it. But there's also another reality, which is as we stand in our power as a sovereign being, we stand together and we amplify that frequency with each other. And it also goes back to the premise that in order to shift something physically, it first must shift energetically. And so
Mm.
that's where the work on the astral planes come in and shifting that energy to allow a pathway for that physicality to then ground and anchor within us as we co-create this path ahead of us. And so, for the beginner spiritualist that may or may not be aware of the astral plane, how would you explain that to them? Is it connected to the dream world, do you think? Is it a reflection of our superconscious or our subconscious? Like, how does that work mechanically from your experience?
No, you can describe it as, I mean, you have a physical body, right? We're speaking to each other right now. And you have emotions, right? But you can't touch them. Like it's not like the physical body. You can't touch, oh, I'm happy. Can you touch that? But you're happy, right? You don't need to see it to feel it. And then you have your thoughts. Because if I say like a red ball, you see a red ball inside of your head. Like that is transmitted. That's the mental, what I call the mental body. So we have a physical, emotional, mental body. And most people can agree to that. The next level is the astral body. And that is a real body, just like the physical body, where you can astral project. I mean, when you are conscious about your physical, like emotional, mental, and you accept yourself as you are fully. That's when I stepped into the now. When you step into that consciousness that you're something greater than that, then you can like look at it from the outside. And then you step into the astral world where you have an astral body. And I mean, even people that have near death experiences talk about this, how they see themselves from the outside. For me, it started with me leaving my body, like I told you about. Like, first, I got that connection with Athena. There was something else there. And I really tried it out. It was not my imagination. I tried to change it. I couldn't, that this was clear. And when I left my body the first time, I saw myself from the outside, like my body lying. I was outside on a beautiful field in a summer day, and I just lifted up from my body, and it was so vivid and clear. And actually, that first time, I got the proof that I was not imagining, because usually people mix up imagination and like at the astral world is not imagination, it's another dimension. And actually, when I met my soul family and they told me, okay, you're going to be a leader in that this transition to from the old world to the new world, and um, I intuitively, because I was practicing to just follow my intuition at the time. That was one of the practices that I had. If I felt an impulse, I was going to, do it. And my intuition had said, like, to bring a newspaper, like a magazine. It was, I think, my mother's. It was just lying on the table, like, okay, I don't know why I should bring this. I should bring this. All right. It was like, she's a psychologist, so I brought this with me. And my soul family told me, look at the page 53 in this magazine, so that you know that we are for real. And I came back to my body. I looked at that page. At the top of the page, it was almost exactly the sentence they have told me. And I'd never opened that ever in my life before. So, I mean, that was the first kind of proof that there is an astral world that I needed to have, to know that this is not just my imagination. And over the years, also, like you said, when we worked in the Gaia Council and we work on an energetic level on the astral world, you see it reflect, after it maybe takes a couple of weeks up to a couple of months, and it's like, boom, yeah, now there it happens in the physical reality. So, like you said, there are many, in my view, there are many like density levels, you could say, like different frequency levels that we operate in. And the creator, the light, it's like a sun that shines through all these layers, and then it becomes in the densest layer becomes manifest. And that our manifest reality is just a reflection of this kind of the patterns that of frequencies that is this light is being put through, like that it goes through. So, I mean, it would take a long time to, I'm actually, trying to write a book about like how I view reality, because I mean, I see it in many like scriptures and everything, but at the same time, it's like I did tell myself from the start also to trust myself first, to trust my own experience of things. And it's something that I would love to document more and kind of get out there. And because for me, it's so logical, it's so clear, it's so like, of course it's like this. And I think a lot of people that are in contact with themselves or know the ancient like wisdom and teachings of this world, they see it too. But my hope is that it will inspire more and more people to accept themselves, accept those parts of themselves, and I mean, there's so many worlds in the astral reality. There are like gods and goddesses and dragons and giants, and it's like this. My God, if someone could just do a movie or a series about it, sometimes it's like, oh, I just like would love to show this to people, like what's really going on there. It would be like an action movie, definitely, with like big dragons and like just the other what do you say? Other week we were like, or other day actually, we were fighting lots of astral spies, and I mean, this is known in a lot of the kind of dark parts of government in the world that they have astral spies. They've asked the people, they've even researchers doing research on this. It's not like they tell you on the news, but yeah, as long as they can operate freely without resistance, they can also do a lot of harm, unfortunately, on people. And that's where we come in. I think we're a growing number of kind of astral warriors out there, if you want to call it that, but that's actually what it is. Where we're like, no, we're supporting Gaia to just reclaim her energy and say stop and clear out any kind of corrupt energies and powers in the astral dimensions. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think there's a lot of us that are astral warriors and have been for a lot of lifetimes. And so we have those skills and we know how to use them in that way. But we also see a brighter future where we are able to put down the weapons of war and put down our sword in exchange for the pen, for example, and just create in a different way and create a new reality for not only us, but for the generations to come. So I think it's really
Mm.
brilliant that we're in such an amazing transition period. And I really love the work that y'all are doing. And it's really making a big difference, I think, energetically as we make that shift and participate in that co-creation. And it's really beautiful to me how the alignments come in and the divine appointments and when people just they show up and they follow the call and then something really beautiful happens in a mission like you're describing, and so it's a really beautiful way to witness the world in a different way. And so I appreciate you sharing all of that wisdom because you've been doing this for 15 years with the Gaia Council, you said.
Yeah, I guess more now. I think we got started around, oh my God, it's probably around 20 years soon.
I
I
love
don't even
that.
remember. Yeah, it was sometime around after 2005 at least, so even more maybe.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you for your dedication and for all of your hard work and your energy that you put forth towards bringing in that golden age and that better future. I think it's
Mhm.
amazing, and we really admire that. So thank you, thank you.
No, thank you. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing to be a part of, and when you kind of see that it's not about me at all. It's just about like being of service to something greater that kind of comes through me, and then yeah, I that's the only thing I want actually. It's just to be of service to that and just continue following the light in every step and see where it takes me because magic comes from it. Magic comes out of it when we start to trust that path. It's really, really, truly amazing.
Love that.
Mm.
So I heard you talk in another interview about some courses that you are thinking of creating. Are you creating? Are they available now? Do you want to talk to us about the
Yeah,
education that
definitely.
is brewing
Mm.
in your field? I've heard you talk about Ashtar Command, Seraphim. You're an amazing Astral Warrior, so I think that's a valuable asset as well. So tell us more
Yeah,
about that.
definitely. So I haven't done that for many, many years. For around 5 years, I was working full time with it. I was fully booked all over the place. And at that time, I wanted to transition to do more work on a world level, like an international level. But now I feel like a lot of that is done. Like a lot of that has anchored in. And I'm feeling the pull again. Since in the Gaia Council, we were also working a lot in secret at first. We were not open about that we even existed. It was very kind of secretive. And at one point, we were instructed, by the guides. We work a lot with Ashra Command, the creator, Gaia, and we were instructed that it's time for us here in on Earth with Gaia to be able to take care of our own protection astrally and energetically because we've been very unaware on those planes and we haven't, been consciously protecting our field and Gaia. And the more of us that can learn to become astral warriors, that can become, protectors of Gaia in our own field, the less we need help from outside because we have had a lot of help and we are still having help from outside. But the goal is for us to take care of ourselves. And that's actually when we got a training directly from the Ashtar Command. And the Ashtar Command for me is like a union of a lot of other dimensional beings and species from this universe that come together to uphold the creator's law, like the natural law, the free will that is at the core of our universe. And they actually gave us the first steps that they train their young people, like when they have children. This is the first training they give them. And it's about, like you said, also when we want to advance our abilities in the astral world, for instance, we need to first be fully aware of ourselves, of our physical, mental, emotional bodies, and our spiritual self. So that first course was given to us, and I've had that course, I think, 2 times since then, and they've really encouraged me and others in the council to do these trainings, to start to train more people so that we can protect ourselves. So that course is something that I'm going to be doing regularly. I think the next one is in March. I can, give you the link if people are interested and they can join in. Um, and after we are enough people that have done that basic training, there's also going to be a continuation of that where you learn about your soul's frequency, your soul name, and yeah, many other things on the higher dimensions of your being. So that's one part that I feel called now to actually bring forward. The bigger one is the Sovereign Free Life training. I'm not there yet. I'm trying it out for actually for my water team now. I've had a great response so far. And then we've also had trainings directly from the Seraphim angels, which was a huge blessing that we got that in the Gaia Council. And I think though it's not ready to be spread wide to, it will probably be by those who have been in the council for a while or the people that we know, because that knowledge that we got was yeah, just dynamite. It was like the spiritual techniques that the seraphim use. The seraphim are the highest angels, right beneath the archangels. And one part of it, I can say that I actually had a knee injury that was quite bad. I couldn't walk even. I was walking on crutches. I was going to the doctor, to the physiotherapist, and it was really bad going into this training with the seraphim. And we had these 3 days of training. After the second day, it was gone. And I'm not talking about like it was still there, but it was gone. And the second day, we got super powerful healing codes, physical healing codes from the seraphim, and we got to go through that and get that blessing. And the funny thing is that I didn't even kind of think about it because my knee was so bad, and then I was late to get my kids, and after the training, and then I just suddenly realized that, oh my God, I'm running. I was looking down on my legs, was like, I'm running, but I can't run. I haven't been running for months because I have a knee injury. I was like walking one step at a time up the stairs on crutches. And then like, but I am running. So, I mean, talking about how health has to do so much with frequency, that, and for me, that was a sign to like from Creator, from God, from the angels that, I mean, we've got you. And like your physical body can heal from one day to another. And I even went to the physiotherapist and like asked her, like, is this normal? Like, and she was like, you don't need me anymore. I don't know what happened to you. I've never seen this before. Like you have full mobility in your knee. You walk perfectly. There's nothing wrong anywhere. Like, what did you do? And I actually had to tell her, I have to like, I'm an honest person. I was like, yeah, I went to this angel training. I healed it and it was gone. And she even understood. She was like, okay, yeah, there are things that we don't understand in the world, yet. But anyway, so we'll see if that becomes available. But right now, it's kind of the basic training that we got from the Ashtar Command that I will be training in public, so to say, and then we'll take it step at one step at a time. And I'm also slowly opening up to individual sessions as well, to begin with. So, like I said, I haven't been doing this for years publicly, like just in kind of close circles for those that ask. But it's really pulling me now. I also feel like we're in this huge transition period where people really need this more than ever because the frequencies are just being raised so powerfully in that it also like all the emotions, all the block, like everything comes up to be seen. So I really think we need to hold each other there, and I hope to be of service to that process more publicly now again.
I
Mm.
love that. I think people will be looking forward to that as well. So I'm happy to post the links below and people can check that out as well. So thank you for being of such amazing service on so many different levels. And I'd love to just round out our conversation today by asking, what is your highest excitement right now and where is it leading you?
My highest excitement right now, that's a good question. There's so many.
I
Do I have
know.
to choose? No, I think my highest excitement right now is this rapid development that I'm seeing, like the raising of frequencies, and that I get to stand in the middle of my purpose in all of that. I feel in everything I'm doing, I'm just in the complete right place, you know? I'm fully also stepping into even more power and more like yeah, letting it all out even more, everything that I have to give to the world. And that is a beautiful thing to see happen. And it's a beautiful thing to, yeah, it's very, very exciting to see what happens and exciting to see these lives shifting into full, you know, expression of themselves and into full abundance, into full peace and purpose. So that's what excites me right now. And oh, I have to add one more thing. And building our eco village has been like a lifelong dream to do it. And it's actually happening right now. We're like putting up the homepage. We have a designer working on it. We're working on all the, all the details and, building around, yeah, I think 13 houses and a health clinic, workshop center, retreat center, a little temple, some, some bit of self-sufficiency and shops and stuff. And yeah, it's just so exciting to really see that happen and let it out to the world.
I love that. So is this your own little sovereign community outside of the Matrix world, or tell me more about this?
Definitely. I mean, it feels like, okay, do you want to be living in a peaceful way, in a loving way? Like when I've talked to so many people in my international work, in my coaching work, like wherever, eh, yeah, wherever I've gone, and there's so many, everything points to, okay, if you can take care of your own garden, if you can like build local thriving communities that support each other, that's kind of the fundamental thing. Like it's how we've lived for ages and ages, actually. That's how it should be, right? So of course I'm a bit nervous and I'm like, oh my God, this is like almost like when you have a dream and you're realizing it and you're almost losing the dream. It's like, oh my God, is this really going to happen now? But it's like yeah, just living a peaceful, simple life, I think, is in the hearts of so many people. And I hope that this can be one example that can then have a ripple effect to inspire even more of that.
I
So
love
we
that.
also, yeah, we reclaim like we want to have our own toxin-free food and we want to take care of the land and we want to, just live in peace and have great knowledge, spread great knowledge about you know, living the sovereign free life, and how we can yeah, bring balance on all these different dimensions, and hope to actually live that like in a more fully expressed way here. Mm.
That's amazing. What it sounds to me is like you're downloading a template for others to follow. And so, wow, that's big. Like, thank you so much for your service there because I know so many people that talk about that, but it sounds like you're actually doing it. You're grounding it, anchoring it, and maybe that's another offering you can provide one day to people that are interested in doing the same.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, have a look at New Earth Horizon as well. That's the page right now, newearthhorizon.com, because there's so much knowledge gathered there, and there's lots of work over the years. There's a big place being built in Mexico. They're building in Africa, in Bali. So there is a movement that, I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of people that are building this, building the new earth, building what is like we already have, already know everything we need. It's just about actually doing it. And also, like we talked about, you need to reclaim your finances, you need to reclaim your vision, you need to reclaim your belief, all of that to be able to do it. It's not going to happen if you just sit and think about it. It's really up to, and we can't sit and, I mean, there's some people that sit and wait for oh, this global wealth is just going to spread and we're going to do everything, fine if it happens, beautiful, but I'm not going to wait for anyone. Like, I think we need to act now from our intuition and our source in every moment and see where that leads you. And then it will lead you to what you are here to do. And yeah, it's clearly happening, which is, yeah, really exciting. Hmm.
That's incredible. Well, I just love everything that you're bringing to the table and all that you're doing in all the different areas. And like I said in the beginning, you're very well rounded in all of the um, activities and energetic work and everything that you're doing. And so, thank you for being such an amazing example. And thank you for serving such a great purpose and for just really honoring your truth and being in your divinity and in your sovereignty. And we just really love that. We love you. We support you, and we're so excited to be on this journey with you. So thank you, thank you, thank you for joining us today.
Oh, thank you so, so much. And we all do this together. I'm so, so happy to have met you and to do this work together with you. And everyone out there listening, just really believe in yourselves and walk your unique path and just shine your true light, and, you know, take care of each other out there. Like, network, come together and do stuff. Like you say, just have fun together and bring the vision to life, because yeah, that makes this world a better place, really. Mm.
Yeah, we've been stuck in so much like efforting and hardship and all the things for so long. It's like I just see this whole other vision of just play, just find little ways, even if it's just little ways to play and bring that frequency of that joy and your inner child just in everything that you do in every moment. And it just it creates a ripple effect that then snowballs and builds. And, the more you share it, the more light you're bringing to the world and it amplifies. And then, all of a sudden we're dancing in the forest with fairies and just having a great old time on a brand new adventure. And so it's just a beautiful way to live life. And I just love seeing all of the different people that are on a similar path and just like you said supporting each other and growing together and into the beautiful new earth that is coming and that we are grounding. So thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Mm. All right, beautiful friends, before we close this portal, let's echo it back with some shares. One thing you loved, one truth that landed, or one playful action that you'll take from here. Feel free to say it out loud whisper it to your higher self, or drop it in the comments so we can ripple and expand together in the field. Until next time, stay honest, stay curious, stay kind, and always remember, it's not just a game, it's the whole playground. So let's have fun with it. Thank you so much for playing with us in this infinite now moment. If your heart smiled, your soul sparked, or you felt seen in this conversation, smash that like and subscribe button and share this with someone you love. Until next time, keep exploring, keep laughing, and keep being your cosmic radiant self. See you in the next round.